a lot of people are talking about that battle at the corner spot between Triquez and Dante. Just kind of take us in there. What's that battle like when you see him from them?
I think I've been excited, all right. Anytime you get competition in camp, it's going to be a back and forth deal. I think both of them are such different players. You got one guy that's really long levered, press coverage guy. You got another guy that's tightly wound, right? Got a lot of twitch, a lot of explosiveness about him. Okay, so both of those guys are battling day in and day out, sometimes by the period, you know what I mean? So one guy has a better period, and then the competition is coming. The next guy picks it up the next period. So it's been fired up. I've been fired up, right, to kind of see those guys respond right to the competition, because we don't compete against each other here. We kind of compete with one another,
Is the rep distribution there, Rod, going to be more about situations, matchups, or is there somebody in your mind right now after the first two scrimmages, the only two scrimmages, that has a decisive advantage?
I think, camp is one part of it, but I think as we transition out of camp, which we still are in camp, kind of that's going to be evaluated on how you handle game preparation as well. It's not just camp, how you handle a game plan, how do you take the coaching and the adjustments to our seasonal rules right into a particular game. That's going to be evaluated as well. So I think we're kind of still moving through that stuff, man. Those guys are so tight in there in terms of the competition. Not ready to call it just yet.
Who's your fourth outside right now?
I think we got a lot of guys, that still got the opportunity. Devontae Dickerson is doing a really good job right now showing himself. Jalen Davies, has got back in on the grass, and he's kind of picking up where he left off from. So we still got some other bodies that's in there that are vying for that spot right there, which is good to see, because you want to build some championship depth here and get some of those young guys on the field if you possibly can.
What did you see from Mikael and just his evolution of his game and where he's at now going into his third year?
I've seen a lot of growth in him, in all aspects of his life, from the way he's done academically. He's passed 30 units probably in the last two quarters, which is a lot to do for one. I think from a maturity standpoint, he's done a great job of being one of the first guys in the building. And if you know Mikael, he's not really a guy of many words. But the job that he's doing coaching the younger guys has really helped me as a coach. So I'm very proud of the maturation that he's had. He's flying around, he's practicing as hard as he's ever practiced before, and he's primed for a good season. So we're going to continue to push and squeeze the orange, because there's still some more in there. There's still some more technique. There's still some more leadership that he can provide for our football team.
I was going to say, what is there for him to improve on? What's kind of that next step for him to – he's already viewed as an elite corner, but what's that next step for that guy?
I think for him at corner, you can always improve your technique. That's why I like coaching corner. That's why I think, coaching corner is one of the most underrated positions to coach, because there's so many fine details that go along with it. You can take a play out there where he takes an interception to the house, and I guarantee I'll find a point here or a point there that could have been, could have been critiqued a little bit better, something that he could fix. So he's been doing a great job. I got zero complaints. Just want to continue right there with consistency.
Where's Dante, you think, you made the biggest leap in this fall camp?
I think consistency. We got to understand that, one, he didn't get an opportunity to play last fall, pulled a hamstring the day before fall camp started, came back the week of Stanford, played a couple snaps against Wazoo, and the hamstring was going again. So in my mind, he's a true freshman. Hadn't had that full opportunity to really get the training and the grinding, all right, the fundamentals of what we're doing right now. So it's leaps and bounds where he was last year. Okay, just because he's getting those reps. But, man, he's a phenomenal athlete, right, that we're just trying to continue to hone in on his consistency and his process.
Where do you land on experience? Because you're not a good player. It doesn't really matter how many years you've been in a program. But
no doubt.
At the same time, there's going to be guys that are going to be playing in this game that haven't played at the college level. What's kind of your view of just this room? Because there's a lot of young guys.
Anytime, guys haven't played, that's where you're going to make your claim on the grass, right? The only experience is getting out there in the game. Watching it on the sidelines is only going to help so much. So some of those guys are going to go out there. They got to go out there and fail, and they got to grow. Right, there's going to be some opportunities for them that they're going to fail in, right? And then there's going to be opportunities that after they fail, they're going to begin to grow, right, and change those areas and change those improvements that they need to make going forward. So I see it like that. You get out there, you're going to make some failures. You're going to make some plays, but it's not the end of the world, right? We got to have a great response mechanism in our mind to make sure we respond to whatever the next play is. So the experience is going to take itself. You got to get out there on the grass and improve that you belong. So the competition goes through camp, but you still got to compete based on your production that's on the grass.
What's the biggest thing you tell your guys what do you tell them to remember as you shift from fall camp to game week coming up?
Stay on edge, right? We're shifting, only partly. This is still fall camp. We are still grinding. We are still competing. We are still, competing for our roles on this position. So I think my message then would be, hey, look, don't let your foot off the gas, right? Because there may be someone else that's behind you that's continue to push. As you let off the gas, it's going to pass you up and take those opportunities from you.
Coach, what is it you like about coaching the cornerback position? You got to deal with a lot. What route could come at you, get asked to do a lot of different things. What do you like about coaching corners?
I think it's a challenge of competitiveness. We play a reactionary position, The wide receivers, the tight ends, the running backs, they know exactly where they're going. So I think it's a challenge when you don't know where they're going. So I think athletically it's one of the most difficult positions to play on the football field. So I think that challenge alone, right, and all the added technical things that come along with the position, that's what I like coaching. You know what I mean? Again, I can find a play that we can take an interception to the house, but I can critique certain things about it, right, that we can break down the game and break down that play and make them that much better. So that's always fun, right? And it's always fun putting the blanket on wide receivers, you know. It's real fun.
You talk about it being a reactionary position. A lot of guys that play corner or DB play receiver in high school as well. Are you seeing that benefit from some of the guys in your group maybe?
I do think you see it at times, you know, but I still think, you know, the best learner at playing corner is playing corner. You know, there's no substitute for getting out there in the back pedal, right, and transitioning forward. I think where the wide receiver skills come to play is the ball skills, right? And sometimes there's an incline ability to recognize pass concepts, having played on the offense side of the ball, whether at receiver or at quarterback, which we have some guys who've done that in the past. So I think that's where you get the carryover, right, in terms of the position, you know, from the receiver room right to DB.